Hi there, thanks for watching this video, and today we're going to talk about how to start your Bollywood movie watching journey. If you've heard about RRR or Kantara, I think these are the two more popular Indian movies of late, and it's piqued your interest. And you want to know, how can I get into Bollywood movies? Where do I start? Well, that's what this video is all about. There are many genres. Bollywood is not a genre, it is a kind of filmmaking, it is a formula. What qualifies as Bollywood and what qualifies as Indian cinema? What's the difference? That's going to be a whole another subject, and maybe if you're interested, I'll make another video on that. Bollywood only refers to one particular region of Indian cinema, and Bollywood movies are usually mostly in the Hindi language, and I've seen all kind of Bollywood movies from the 90s to the early 2000s. I've seen it all. It was in the early 2000s that I kind of reduced my consumption of Bollywood movies and focused more on English language and international films. Me growing up in India, international films was everything else that's outside of India. So if anyone is looking for a point of entry into Bollywood movies, and where do I start, and if I don't have to be tied down to a genre, because like I told you before, Bollywood is a way of making film. It's a formula that takes any kind of genre, any kind of story, any kind of narrative, and gives it this unique flavor, and you understand that now I'm watching a Bollywood movie. What's Bollywood? What's Indian cinema? Maybe I can make another video on that, like I said. But right now, I'm talking about Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. I'm sure if you try to analyze the film from like moral and social perspective without understanding the cultural context, you can find a lot of problems. And it definitely anything that's aged will have some problem areas. But I'm only looking at things for what's there to appreciate, and maybe you can find something to appreciate over there too. This film was one of the first films to really acknowledge and highlight this concept of brain drain. Not only were the Indians who were studying in America staying back, but a lot of Indians being able to get jobs in America and moving out. And this movie kind of addressed that, and it made it a whole lot more aspirational for this populace living abroad. So our film starts with the song Garaja Patesi. If you read the lyrics and you start to feel the music, if you've ever lived away from home, if you've ever felt homesick, it's that kind of emotion. And we're introduced to the character of Chaudhry Baldev Singh, which is played by Amrish Puri, the late great Amrish Puri ji, one of the best actors in Indian cinema. And when Steven Spielberg casts you opposite Indiana Jones, you watch Amrish Puri in Temple of Doom rip a guy's heart out from his chest. You can see the intensity that this man has. So if you're a fan of Indian cinema, you're like, alright, this character is probably going to be really important to the story. Is a man not to be messed with. Even though he's like a peaceful guy feeding pigeons. Every major character is introduced through song or through music. Kajol and Shah Rukh Khan, they're the leads of this film. And Shah Rukh Khan till date is one of the biggest movie stars. Coincidentally, this year his movie Pathan came out, and it broke all the records. Like, it's a massive box office success. By this time in her career, Kajol had a few successful movies, and she had a movie that she did called Udhari Ki Zindagi, which was highly dramatic. The film wasn't very successful, but it also left her kind of suffering emotionally from playing a very serious part, and she decided to do not so serious roles. Some success she had before was with Shah Rukh Khan, so her pairing with Shah Rukh Khan was taking off. And the year that Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge was released, they also released a movie called Karan Arjun, in which she again was paired opposite Shah Rukh Khan, and this movie was a Bollywood action film, which again was a super hit. So her chemistry with Shah Rukh Khan was already great. So when Shah Rukh Khan was initially offered this project, he didn't want to take it up because he didn't want to do any romantic roles. He was only interested in doing action roles. But as time went by, Shah Rukh Khan is one of the best romantic leads, and he is considered the king of romance in Bollywood movies. So it's a little interesting fact there, and it's only because of Shah Rukh's insistence to have an action scene. There's an action scene in the movie. Kajol and Shah Rukh, their chemistry and their on-screen appearance together was really being appreciated by the audience. So this was just another thing that really works in the favor of this movie. It is a Bollywood movie. It is a bit exaggerated. So like in a couple of weeks, you see them go through maybe years of different ups and downs or different stages of a relationship. But it's fun to watch. It might be a little strange as to why just in one scene Shah Rukh Khan is playing rugby, basketball, he's going for a swim. Song sequences in Bollywood movies are in between fantasy and reality. The general rule of thumb is that if the song takes place in the exact same physical space that they were in, then it's actually happening. Everybody's reacting to it for real, and it's pushing the story forward, or it's doing something within the plot. But if they're going to multiple different locations, it's usually kind of fantasy dream sequence within the film. In this case, though, like the first song where Kajol is introduced and where Shah Rukh Khan is introduced, it's a bit of both because she's falling in love with the man of her dreams, but she's never seen him. Whereas we're shown shots of Shah Rukh Khan playing all those different sports because he really exists. The reason Shah Rukh is shown playing basketball, rugby, and swimming and everything is because usually if you think of Indian actors playing sports at that time, it's either soccer or cricket. So sports would mainly look very goofy, academic, very regimented. It made him look fresh, and by this time, these kind of sports were being played at school because people were getting bored of the same old thing. Yeah, so this was basically done to make his character stand out, look fresh, and it worked. So the film stars Shah Rukh Khan as Raj, Kajol's character Simran. Raj and Simran are our main protagonists. Amrish Puri is Chaudhary Baldev Singh. He is Simran's strict, staunch dad. And Anupam Kher, he's another legendary actor from Bollywood. Here he plays a comedic character. He warms up to you. It's the best way I can describe. And the introduction to his character is basically Shah Rukh Khan's character has not graduated from college, but we come to know that whatever happens, he is built a life for Raj, and he wants Raj to be happy and successful. And he tells him not to worry, just go on a trip across Europe. On the other hand, we have the character of Simran, who's dreaming about Prince Charming of her own. She's like any other teenage girl. She's dreaming about falling in love. At the same time, she accepts her fate that being from a culturally rooted Indian family, her father has a vision for what he wants for her daughter, and she's not gonna fall in love and she's not gonna marry. So Simran, although like any other girl who's dreaming about falling in love and finding her own identity and finding her own life, she knows how strict her father Baldev Singh is, and she accepts that love is not something that's going to be part of her life. So instead, all she asks from dad is to let her go on a little trip across Europe with her friends. We also have this really cool interaction between Shah Rukh Khan's character and Amrish Puri's character. So when Raj and Baldev first meet, it's in London. Of course, Raj does something to piss off Baldev, and it immediately sets them up as these polar opposites. The character of Baldev Singh is very strict, by the books, no nonsense, and he's deeply patriotic. And Raj immediately comes and shows no regard for everything this man holds dear, and now they're set up as these, these clashing forces and these clashing ideologies. Really popular scene in this movie. Watch out for that. So Raj and Simran bump into each other on a train. So as Raj and Simran are obviously falling for each other but telling themselves that they're not, we forget that they're going to part ways later. The film is really good in making you feel like they are in love, and it's a high point. And I think this is one of the first films why I did really well, was because this was also a film that kind of gave an insight into how Indian men think about falling in love. And there's this very famous scene where Shah Rukh Khan's character Raj says, like, if she's in love with you, she's gonna turn and look back. Songs are great. Yeah, Bollywood actors don't sing their own songs. If you want a video on this, I can make a separate video on this too. Their trip across Europe ends with a song, and this song is telling us, even though they're not admitting it to themselves, we know that they're starting to fall in love. And when Raj is alone at home, he decides to go and approach Simran and ask her dad for her hand in marriage, do this the right way, because he knows now that he's in love. Even though he denied it, he's in love. But on Simran's side of the story, she's gone on the trip to Europe, so now they're flying to India to get Simran married to Kuljeet. After Raj comes to India, there's a lot of comedic moments. He infiltrates the groom's family. He's trying to charm everybody in Simran's family. And this is his big plan. And we're literally on the edge of the seat because we don't know if this plan is going to work or not. There's a lot of good emotional moments, a lot of tear-jerking moments. There's a lot of comedic moments. And I think Amrish Puri's eyes and his voice, they play a really big role in scaring you and making you feel the threat. There have been cases of honor killings where people have fallen in love and eloped. So there's this really touching speech by Farida Jalal, who plays Simran's mom, where she's telling Raj, just, if you really want to do something, take this girl and leave. That scene really touched a lot of people because this is the story of a lot of people. And there's been cases where people have gotten married, people have eloped, left India, gone to other countries, and still been victims of honor killings. That scene really strikes a chord with the common man, especially people watching back then. And I think after that, we come back into fantasy land where Raj says, no, I'm going to win over everyone, and that's the only way I'm going to take you. I'm not going to run away. And it's a nice way to call back to the title that Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. It means that love will win the day. The movie has this action scene at the end. The movie has a song and dance number. The movie has really cool callbacks to things that happen in the beginning, and the ending is one of the most celebrated endings in Bollywood movie history. The movie is so good that Barack Obama quoted this movie on his trip to India.
कोई बात नहीं, बड़े-बड़े देशों में ऐसी छोटी-छोटी बातें होती रहती.
Señorita, bode desho mein. You know what I mean. So,
if there's anything else, any of the topics that I mentioned earlier that you want to see a video on, you can put a comment below. I literally have no subscribers, so spread the word, like, share, subscribe if you want, if you thought it was helpful. Thank you, and maybe I'll make some more videos.
तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम.